All right, so we have the privilege to have with us today Advocate Zaryab Rizvi, who is none other than a person who started training so many years ago. And guess which training it was? It was at the advent of 2013 that the POSH law came into force. And he was one of the first to have introduced POSH training as a live training way back in 2013. And 12 years forward, he's got so much of experience that he's got a plethora of other things that he's doing. So we'll dive deep into the conversation and dive deep into the history and the story behind the man. This is Leadership Story Unscripted. You've not got to miss this one. This is going to be a golden one for you, all of you out there. So, Zaryab sir, thank you so much for being part of the
Thank you for having me on your show, and it is such a pleasure to have spent this time with you. So, and I'm really looking forward for this conversation, and let's see where we lead.
Absolutely. So, the Indian legal landscape, if you look at it from a neutral perspective per se, they all say, यार cases जैसे वो कहते हैं ना तारीख पे तारीख बढ़ती जाती है, cases पे cases आते रहते हैं, काम कुछ होता नहीं है. What is your take on that, sir?
Look, it's very easy to criticize the system.
Absolutely.
Very easy to say that things are not right or it takes a lot of time.
True.
But then at the bedrock of our institution, the judicial institution, it is that a person who is innocent should not be punished.
Yes.
That is at the bedrock of it, and that defines the system. To ensure that no person who is innocent gets punished, you need to have checks and balances.
Yeah.
Checks and balances takes time. It to find truth. So let's, if we talk of the criminal side of the litigation, the person who has been accused, neither of the parties are there. There's a prosecution, there is a defense.
Right.
Both of them are telling a story.
Correct.
Which story is the correct story?
Absolutely.
How do you judge? How do you find out which story is the correct story? To ascertain that, you need evidence.
Yes.
You need processes.
Yeah.
Because unless the process is followed, the due process of law, even if a person is found guilty, he may have his defenses. So we ensure that everybody gets their due process. And then certainly if the process is followed, it would take some time. There are multiple factors which are behind it, which one can say are responsible for the delay, because due processes can be followed in an expeditious manner, but then there has to be, the police machinery should be well equipped.
Very true.
The judicial setup has to be sufficient. If let's say 150 cases were listed in a court,
Right.
how do you expect?
Yeah.
The courts, the judges are also humans. They have to. If again, there are multiple things that we say. Justice hurried is justice buried.
Yeah.
So
That's well said, actually.
yeah, just for the sake of disposal, one can say that there's very high disposal suddenly that we are witnessing. But then you'll have to see whether there are compromises that are being made in the process. So yes, a person, we should understand, be it civil litigation or criminal litigation, we need to be very sure that why the processes are there.
Right.
Each step has its roots. Why that law was made in the first place?
Correct.
Why evidence is required?
Absolutely. For instance, the principle of natural justice itself is there so that the other person is also heard.
Absolutely. So now there's a multiple things. Principle of natural justice also, as you said, rightly highlighted that every party has to be heard.
Yes.
A person should not be judged in his own cause.
Very true.
So these are certain principles of natural justice. Now, to ensure all of that, to ensure that justice is done and done for everyone in a same manner, it takes time. And but fortunately, the governments are serious in resolving those issues. We have seen disposals peak in the recent times, but then there's a flip side of it that is there, that once their disposals, justice is being delivered, what happens is the people confidence goes up.
Yeah.
And they come to court more.
Absolutely.
Unlike the time
Thing is
that
past.
it would take
It
such
would
a long
take time and there's no
why
point.
to go to court in the
Very
first
true,
place.
very true.
So these things, this one thing leads to the other.
Right.
So there's a positive side as well
Yeah,
of
as
the
well.
disposal. Right. So that's what I'd say.
Very well put. Very well put. No, I think even movies like Jolly LLB 1 and 2, though they are a social satire, but they're passing a very important message that have faith in the judicial system. There is certainly something there, and of course, as you rightly said, it does take time, but definitely there is a lot of judicial activism which is also happening, and young blood which is streaming into it. They're also taking that accountability factor.
Yeah.
So I think that's going to make a difference.
So as I said, things are changing.
Yeah.
Things are changing and changing for good. Of late, when you've seen that, the advocacy or the advocates, this profession itself has been a noble profession. You would see across the globe, people, the leaders, Mahatma Gandhi, the Jawaharlal Nehru's, there's all these big people across the globe. You can go to Obama and so on and so forth, everywhere. This was noble profession which was looked upon, which was, and that was same was the case in India, that we moved to politics, we moved to so many other spheres because of multiple skills that we gain in the process. The first and foremost is knowledge. We as law students, as lawyers, we learn, we continuously have to read and gain knowledge. Today, let's say I'm in an HR event. I have been working in the HR field. I've been on various committees. I've been dealing with POSH so because law touches upon every aspect of your life. So be it anything, and law is there, some or the other law. So as a lawyer, we also have to, someday we are advocates,
Correct.
which we are. Someday we are doctors, some
Absolutely.
engineers. So we also need to
Play different roles.
Play different roles. Now, coming back to your question, which was the young blood coming in. What drives young blood, or a profession where you see a future?
Correct.
A profession. There was a time when it was at its high.
Yeah.
Then too many people started to come in and choose this profession, resulting in a position where the profession went down
Right.
because of plenty. The problem of plenty was there. There were too many. Then the institutions realized this problem, that everybody has a law degree,
Correct.
and criminals have law degrees, everyone. So the entire system got polluted. That pollution was somehow, multiple efforts have been done. There are checks and balances, and one very important thing was
Can you just give an example of how
yeah.
a person who has a criminal background,
Yeah.
who's got a law degree, can use it to a disadvantage, for his advantage, of
Yeah.
course. How can we prevent that from maybe not hampering the judicial process?
Good. I'll just come to that.
Sure.
I'll just come this aspect. So I was touching upon that. Because of that, the Bar Council and the Supreme Court also, when I was a student, I heard Supreme Court judges in our college. I'm from Symbiosis, Pune. So we heard them in conferences where they talked of this problem. And they said that because of this, they have introduced a 5-year law course, which is that immediately after your 12th, like your medicine or engineering,
Right.
you make a choice. You make the choice at that stage, and that would show that you have your interest placed in the right place, and it is not after graduation or after doing everything else. When you are not able to clear other exams, you end
You
up
end up
doing
doing
law.
this.
So
Absolutely.
by choice and by default,
Yes.
that is what
The
the
difference.
shift which was there.
Absolutely.
By
So it's
choice.
more of
So-
a mindset.
Yes. So, and now I'll connect the it to your question. So what I've done my schooling from Lucknow.
Correct.
We used to see that the university leaders, the student leaders, had number of degrees written against their name.
Yeah.
MA, BA, LLB, go, the list never stopped. So those were the lists. So what these people used to do, they went on to pursue one course after the other, after the other, and law was one of them, one of such courses. So that displayed a thing that it was by default, either by default or just by
Sheer coincidence.
sheer coincidence,
Yeah.
not coincidence, just that you have to
Have to
stay
do
in
it.
the university,
Yeah.
you have to follow.
Just a tick mark.
Yeah, just a tick mark. So now, those things, now you are caught in your class 12th as you in your medicine or other things. So you get serious. Now the other thing which has been done, okay, somehow you managed to obtain a degree from some course without going.
Sure.
Everything happens.
Absolutely.
So there is a examination which has been introduced. It was in around somewhere you can say around 2010 or 15. In that phase, after you clear your exam, after you get your law degree, after you do everything to enroll, you have to clear that exam of the bar council.
Yes.
So that
That's
is
right.
again a filter which has been brought in that somehow
I think it's important. And it's important.
somehow you managed to procure,
Yes.
so to say.
Of course.
So
The Indian jugaad.
yeah, the cigar throat.
But nevertheless, I think that is a very important sort of a check and balance to have in place.
Yes, thank you.
So I would want to have this last segment, and it's called the rapid fire.
Yeah.
So I'll ask you one question or one word, state one word. You will have to immediately tell me another word that you can think of it. And it has to be very quick.
Okay, I'll
Right.
try.
Are you ready?
I'll try.
Wonderful. Okay. The color red.
Red, this red beauty, I'll say.
Beauty. Wonderful. Okay. A podcast.
You.
Thank you.
I think that was spontaneous.
Thank you. Yes. Favorite watch.
Favorite watch, my father's watch.
Okay, great, wonderful. Legacy and heritage attached to it. How about favorite holiday destination?
Holiday destination. I love Maldives. I've been there several times.
Wow,
Yes.
lovely.
Oh,
I think it's a beautiful destination.
Yeah, yes.
I would love to have that in my bucket list.
yeah.
Great. And favorite Bollywood actor?
Bollywood actor. So I'll say Salman Khan.
Salman Khan.
I heard my brother also saying the same thing. Yeah.
What about your favorite Hollywood actor?
Hollywood actor. Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks, my favorite too. Give me 5. Yes. Great. Okay. So one last question. What would you say to a 30-year younger self of you?
30-year younger self. Enjoy. I don't think there's any better advice, and I still believe that one should enjoy the life. And these are everything happens for a reason, and
I believe in that.
just go with the flow. Life is beautiful, and we should honestly believe in that. The challenges come, so just enjoy the life and make friends, meet people. That's all. I advise him then, which I follow even now.
Lovely.
Right.
It is a pleasure having you on this podcast.
Thank
And we will certainly put a link to your website as well,
Sure.
if at all there is. And of course, we would not reveal the details of whatever you're going to do because there's a lot to have. But guys, stay tuned. There is a lot that is going to come. And maybe we will share that in 2.0 version of this podcast. So thank you so very much
Thank
for the
you.
podcast. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you
so much.
A pleasure.
Thank you.